Hello and welcome to yet another yearbook tutorial. In this tutorial I will teach you how to find fonts, install them, and ultimately use them, as well as how to put images into your spread. So first of all, a really cool website we use for finding fonts for when you need them is called The Fonts. So open up your browser and you just type in the font into your search engine, and there we go, thefonts.com. So you click on that, and here you have a bunch of options. You just select a font you want. I want the font Hunger Games, so I'm gonna go right there, and you need to download this font. These fonts are free, so you click download. There we go. So let's get out of that, and you need to go to download. So click on downloads, open in Finder, and you see that's your font, Hunger Games. It's a zip file, so you need to click on it, double click, and it unzips it for you. And here you can see now you have the Hunger Games TTF. Sometimes when you open up these fonts, you get a folder. Like with here, you see I downloaded the font Alice in Wonderland. I unzipped the file and I got a folder. So I had to go into the folder, and usually you have the font in it, and maybe some notes. You really need to read this note to see if the author authorizes you to use the font. If it doesn't, it's really not going to work once you try to export your final yearbook spread. So make sure you can use this font. Here, when I downloaded Hunger Games, there was no notes, so it's going to be fine. So you double click on Hunger Games TTF, and this little program called Font Book opens, so you wait for that to open. Ultimately, in Fontbook, it shows you what the font looks like, and you need to click install. Once the circle of death disappears, you need to click install fonts. In order for the font to be in your options, you need to close your program, so InDesign, and reopen it again. So there we go, the font has been installed right there. The Hunger Games is still loading. So we need to close InDesign, close Apple Q, and really, don't save. Really, the fonts website is really useful because you do not want all your fonts for major titles to be exactly the same. It's probably good to agree on a couple to have continuity in a yearbook, but really, choosing fonts for different titles and headers on the website is a really good thing. So here, let's close the font book, and you should reopen your document, your InDesign spread, yearbook spread. And once you put in text, you should be able to have the option to put in the Hunger Games font. So let me open up InDesign. I'm using the latest version. Some of you will have the last version. This works exactly the same, so it really doesn't matter. Don't fret. So here we go. Here is my spread all opened up. Not yet. Spinning wheel of death. Let's go. There we go. So when we want to create text in yearbook spreads, we go to the panel where we created shapes and placeholders before, and you can see the big T right there. So you click on the T, you drag, and you type. So let's say the awesome spread. The font's really small right now, so you need to highlight it, and you go up here to all of these options, and here is your font size. So let's say we want 36, the awesome spread. Here you have your font. Here you have your font options. So we want to go to the Hunger Games one. There we go. That's our Hunger Games font. Here, let's spread out the title. There we go. So that's your title. You can do this for captions, text, but really I would recommend using something normal like Times New Roman for text and captions. Really, you really don't want to use the fonts for any text and captions and names you have. So there's a couple more options I have with this. I can change the color. So here I can click on the swatches and it changes the entire color of the title. Here you go, the swatches you imported. Or you can double click on this and select a completely different color. Let's say we want bright red. There we go. But sometimes you're going to find that you want a line going around each of the letters. So you can click down here below and just click on a different line right here. We want black, and there we go. You can make this line thicker always, so don't fret if it's too small. Yeah, so that's how you put in text. You can also do the same thing we did it with shapes, you wrapping, and effects, anything really. Now, once you have imported a font, you can use it with anything really, but don't overuse fonts in one spread. You should really have a consistent spread and a consistent yearbook. That means not too many crazy fonts and not too little variety. Another thing you should know is how to put images into or photographs into your yearbook spread. So you can either you need to choose a placeholder and you drag, click, there we go, and you basically just click on a image. Hold on, we don't have an image we want. There we go. Let's put that out. And we just drag in an image, and there we go. That's our image. We want to fit into it proportionally as I taught you in the last tutorial. So Shift Alt Command C, and that's how it fits proportionally. So you obviously need to redo the shape of your frame to make it fit better. So again, Shift Alt Command C, and there we go. That's your picture. So you can really move this around anywhere. However, make sure your elements such as the title, the text, your images, photographs don't really overlap the margins because they could get cut off, and make sure they don't really go into the gutter because that's the middle crease line right here, because they'll get cut off too. Of course, you can have elements like shapes or thematic elements going off the page like that, but they will get cut off, so make sure it's not something important like portrait pictures. And that's pretty much it for images and text. So it's really simple. It's basically like any other program you've used, Photoshop, Word. It's really, really simple. So that's it for now, and I will upload